I could not believe you are still working as a cleaning lady. Elena, what a shame for the family. My sister Valeria's words echoed through the family kitchen while she carefully folded my work uniform. Or at least the uniform she believed I wore to clean hotel rooms. My name is Elena Vargas. I am 29 years old and my family thinks I am a simple cleaner at the Palacio Dorado, the most prestigious hotel in the city. The reality is quite different. But that is a story for another time. Honest work is never shameful, my mother replied, though I could hear the disappointment in her voice. But your sister is right. Elena, could you not do something better? I bit my tongue. As I had been doing for the last 5 years, if only they knew I was the owner of the Palacio Dorado and the entire International Vargas hotel chain. I had chosen to keep my success secret after seeing how money had changed my family. Everything began when my father inherited a considerable sum from his uncle 10 years ago. Suddenly our middle-class family transformed into new money. And with it came arrogance and airs of grandeur. Especially from my sister Valeria. I had just finished my master's degree in hotel management and started working at the Palacio Dorado as a junior manager, when the previous owner decided to retire. I saw an opportunity, using my savings and a smartly negotiated loan. I bought the hotel. The former owner saw potential in me and helped with the process, keeping everything discreet, while I quietly built my hotel empire. My family sank deeper into social appearances. Valeria got engaged to Diego, the son of a prominent local businessman, and the wedding became the only topic of conversation at home. The wedding must be at the Palacio Dorado, Valeria declared one night at dinner. It is the only place elegant enough for my wedding. I already reserved the main ballroom for 3 months from now. I looked up from my plate. Surprised, I had seen no reservation under my sister's name. You already made the reservation? I asked casually. Well, technically no, Valeria admitted, but Diego knows someone who knows the manager. It is practically done. I held back a smile. The manager she mentioned was actually my assistant, who had strict instructions to consult me on any important event. By the way, Elena, Valeria continued, we need your room for the wedding guests. You will have to move out. What? I stared at her. This is also my home. Come on. Elena. My father intervened. Your sister is organizing the wedding of the year. We need the space and you are barely here anyway. Besides, Valeria added with a condescending smile, it is not appropriate for a cleaning lady to live in the same house where the VIP guests of my wedding will stay. What would people think of us? I felt my blood boil. But I kept my composure. For years I had endured their dismissive comments, their elitist attitude, and their constant need to belittle my supposed job, all because I decided to keep my success secret after seeing how money had changed them. When do you want me to move? I asked, my voice surprisingly calm. This weekend would be ideal. Valeria replied, the decorators are coming next week to start the renovations, and where am I supposed to live? Oh please. Valeria rolled her eyes. Surely you can find some small apartment you can afford with your salary, or maybe one of your cleaning colleagues has a spare room. That was the last straw. I stood up from the table, my chair scraping against the wooden floor. Fine, I said. I will move this weekend, Elena. Darling. My mother tried to soften the situation. You know it is for the good of the family. Your sister's wedding is very important. Of course it is, I replied. Everything related to Valeria has always been more important. I went up to my room and closed the door. I took my phone and dialed a familiar number. Laura. It's Elena. I need you to check something for me. Is there any pending reservation for a wedding in the main ballroom under Valeria Castillo or Diego Mendoza? Let me check. Ms. Vargas. My assistant replied, no. There is no reservation under those names. Although I have a preliminary request from Mr. Mendoza to discuss a date 3 months from now. Interesting, I murmured. Laura. I need you to do something for me. When Mr. Mendoza calls to confirm the reservation, follow the usual protocol but do not confirm anything without my direct approval. Understood? Yes. Ms. Vargas. Anything else? Yes. I smiled as I looked out the window of my childhood room. Prepare the penthouse. I will move there this weekend. The weekend arrived faster than I expected. While I packed my belongings, I could hear Valeria downstairs enthusiastically discussing floral arrangements with her wedding planner. I want the most expensive flowers. The ones they use at the Palacio Dorado, Valeria demanded. This must be the most luxurious wedding the city has ever seen. I smiled to myself as I closed my last suitcase. If only she knew, I moved into the penthouse that same day. Of course. My family thought I had moved into a small apartment shared with other hotel employees. They did not bother to ask for the address. The following Monday, Diego arrived at the hotel to confirm the reservation. "Good morning," he said to Laura. "I am Diego Mendoza. I am here to confirm the main ballroom reservation for my wedding." Laura followed the protocol exactly as I had instructed. "Of course, Mr. Mendoza. However, for events of this magnitude, we need direct approval from the owner." "The owner?" Diego looked surprised. "I thought Mr. Thompson was the owner." "Mr. Thompson retired 5 years ago," Laura explained. "Ms. Vargas is the current owner." "Vargas?" The color drained from Diego's face. "As in Elena Vargas?" "Precisely," I replied, stepping out of my office. I had been listening to the conversation. Diego stood there with his mouth open. But Valeria said you were a cleaning lady." "That is what my family believes," I replied calmly, "and for now I would prefer it to stay that way." "I don't know what to say." "You don't have to say anything," I smiled, "but we do need to discuss the terms of the reservation. For example, the initial deposit is non-refundable." Diego nodded, still stunned. "Of course. Is there anything else I should know?" "Yes," I replied, "as owner, I reserve the right to cancel any event if our policies on respect and non-discrimination are violated. That includes the treatment of our cleaning staff." Diego had the decency to blush. "I understand. I should tell Valeria." "That will not be necessary. I am sure she will find out at the right moment." The following weeks were a whirlwind of activity. Valeria visited the hotel almost daily, treating the staff as if they were her personal servants. Every time I saw her behaving that way from my office with polarized windows, I documented each incident. One day, while Valeria was yelling at a cleaning employee for not moving fast enough, I decided it was enough. "Laura," I called my assistant, "schedule a meeting with the Mendozas and my family for tomorrow. It is time to clarify some things." "Are you sure?" "Ms. Vargas?" "Completely. Also prepare the documents showing all the staff complaints about Valeria's behavior. And one more thing. Make sure the meeting is in the presidential suite. I want them to see exactly where I have been living while they thought I was sharing a small apartment." The bomb was about to explode and I was ready for the impact. The next morning, everyone gathered in the presidential suite. The expressions on their faces when the private elevator opened directly into my penthouse were priceless. "What are we doing here?" Valeria asked, looking around in amazement. "This is the suite where Diego will stay the night before the wedding." "Not exactly," I replied, stepping out of my private office. I was no longer wearing the cleaning uniform they expected, but an impeccable executive suit. "This is my home." The silence that followed was deafening. "Your home?" my mother stammered. "Yes," I replied. "Welcome to my home, the same one I had to move to when you decided that a cleaning lady was not good enough to live in the family house." "I don't understand," my father said, sinking into one of the leather sofas. "How is this possible?" Laura entered with a stack of documents. "Here you are, Ms. Vargas. The documents you requested." "Thank you, Laura." I took the papers and placed them on the coffee table. "Family, I think it is time for some revelations. I am not a cleaning lady. I am the owner of the Palacio Dorado and the entire International Vargas hotel chain." Valeria turned pale. But why did you lie?" "Lie?" I laughed softly. "I never lied. You all assumed I worked in cleaning because you saw me in the uniform, a uniform I wear when I do surprise inspections in the rooms to maintain our quality standards." "Why didn't you tell us?" My mother had tears in her eyes. "Why should I?" I replied. "Since Dad inherited the money, the only thing that has mattered to you is social status." "Valeria, you have treated our staff horribly. Here I have documented all your disrespectful behavior." Diego, who had been unusually quiet, finally spoke. "I knew. Elena told me when I came to make the reservation." Valeria turned to him furiously. "You knew and you didn't tell me?" "Elena asked me not to," Diego replied, "and after seeing how you treated the staff, I understood why. I sat in my favorite armchair. The one with a view of the entire city. The wedding is cancelled. You can't do that, Valeria shouted. Of course I can. It is my hotel and we have strict policies against abuse and discrimination, policies that you have violated repeatedly, but what will people say, that? I smiled. Depends on you. Can we announce that the hotel cancelled your reservation due to inappropriate conduct, or can we handle this as a family? What do you mean? My father asked. I want our family to go back to what it was before the money, before the social status. I want us to remember that a person's value is not in their job or their bank account. There was a long silence. Valeria was the first to break down in tears. I'm sorry, sister. I became a horrible person. Didn't I? Yes. I replied honestly, but it is not too late to change. The following months were a time of transformation. Valeria started working at the hotel, learning every aspect of the business from the bottom up. My parents sold the family house and moved to a more modest place. Remembering their roots, the wedding finally took place 6 months later. It was an intimate ceremony in the hotel garden, where Valeria personally thanked every staff member for their work. You know, she told me during the reception, being a cleaning lady taught me more about life than all my years pretending to be someone I wasn't. I smiled and hugged my sister. Sometimes losing a home leads us exactly where we need to be. Now, 5 years later, I run the hotel with my family. Valeria is the events manager and is known for treating the staff like family. My parents have found peace in a simpler life and I still wear the cleaning uniform for my surprise inspections, because in the end, true success is not in the title you hold, but in how you treat others along the way. Thank you for listening to today's story. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to support the channel. See you in the next story.